welcome to game number 1 of today's Vape Nation Scrims. We are starting off in Orangle with the match starting in 20 seconds time. So as always, sit back, relax and enjoy. And with a flight path going from south to north, starting off at Military and finishing off at 70, with the hot drop locations of Pochinki, School, Roshock and Georgia Pole and Yasnaya possibly within reach also. In just a moment we will see the first teams make their way out of the plane, and the first to go is going to be team number 2, followed by team 20, along with teams 5 and teams 3. And we have a large cluster of teams jumping out near to the beginning of the flight path, with a few more now starting to make their initial descent. We have team 2 going to the military base at the moment, with team 20 heading towards Primorsk, along with team 3 heading to Farm and team 17 heading to Gatka. Now we're with team 2 at the moment. They seem relatively alone. So let's go straight over to team 3, who appears to be coming into contact with team 11. Now the first zone has been revealed and it is cutting off the eastern side of the map, with teams 6, 4, 10, 19, 21, 11 and 2 having to make their way in, and with teams 20 and 5 being so close to the bridge on the left side of the military base, it would be a wise idea for them to stick with it and try and gatekeep team number 2 from making their way in, and that will then get them 3 kills. But saying that, we also have the SIG team on the right side of the zone at the moment, and they might want to gatekeep team 11, which appear to be doing a 3-1 split at the moment, with Mthun 03 being on their own. And we are yet to see a knock on this Orangle match, which is unusual. We may see some action shortly with team 8 Savage and 7 CGN around the housing area of Georgia Pole. So let's jump over there and have a quick look. And here is our first knock and kill, with Dell taking down a member of 6-9. And we're now seeing CGN go up against Savage. And there we go, with CGM Pablo getting a knock and a grenade being thrown in by Action there, but just missing the target. And what we are seeing at the moment is a 2-1 split, with BioP and Puka OP being on their own on the right hand side, with Savage Immortal on the left. And by having CGN Kenzai so nearby as well, that will hopefully restrict their movement and keep them where the CGN team want them to be. So this could be a few easy kills, but what we are now seeing is another member just coming in, and Pablo manages to get another knock on the Savage team. And the Dell team on the left hand side are also getting a few knocks as well, so we will jump over there in just a moment. And we have now got ourselves a 2-2 split. And Action is pushing on the right side and Pablo on the left. And Action is choosing not to thirst the knock at the moment. And this is a personal preference really. You can either thirst the kill straight away or just leave it to die on their own. The reason that some players leave it to die on their own is that whilst a player is still alive, there is always a chance that their teammates may go and try and get a revive. So that may then lead to you getting a very easy kill because they're already occupied reviving their teammate, so they don't have time to shoot at you if you rush them as well. And that is a kill with Savage Puka going down. So we now have 3 members of the Savage team going up against 4 members of CGN. And that was a grenade just thrown by BioP, but just manages to miss Action there, but does take the door off. And then now being rushed slightly by Pablo and Action there. And we've now got Action and Pablo just scoping out the Savage team, with each one taking a separate building. Grenades are being thrown, and MX Extra gets a knock on the left hand side. But what we're going to do is have a quick look at the map and move over now to Team 20 and Team number 2, as Almagin has just got a knock. And is now reviving Extra as Angel Killer tries to push in and is knocked by Almagin. Alex has just got a knock along with Vape with Danny knocking Jab, and MX Extra has just been taken down by Angel Killer, but Denny has just jumped in and got the squad wipe there. So Team 2 come out successful, although at the cost of losing one of their own. And Jetto has just knocked and killed Mithune 10 and 3 with the assistance of Fix 10 and FN Richard. So let's have another quick look at the map as we now see the team start to push in to the zone. And let's jump over to Team 19 TM as they come into contact with teams number 9 and teams number 3. And it looks as though TM Itachi has noticed somebody over on the hill at northwest, and that just happens to be Crogetto with FN Richard just to the left. And BTL Loyson is taken down by Skralex on the left hand side there. And that is BTL Loyson taken out of game number 1. And we have Team 21 just dancing about in a Jeep at the moment, being shot upon by the TM team. And it is very almost nearly a knock with the car on fire at the moment. And unfortunately, the driver, has been knocked by fall. And TM Itachi is just looting the box at the moment as Team 21 LC try and rotate around the coastline to avoid any further interaction with any other players. And LC appear to be low on health at the moment. They are using bandages or possibly a boost to recover the health that has been lost by the fall. but nonetheless Itachi is trying to scope in to get another kill for the TM team. They have one at the moment, but still, with 16 teams still in play, 50 players, it is still very much all to play for these teams. And now TM Itachi is being shot upon. And has lost just over 50% of health. Could possibly be by Team 3, the Sikh team, who are over towards West 275. And as we've now reached the halfway mark of game number 1, let's have a quick game recap. We are watching team number 19, TM at the moment, who have 1 kill so far. The zone is just coming in now. There are 49 players still alive, 15 teams. So as always, it's still very much all to play for game number 1. And looking at the map, we see that Team 7, who are CGN, are just making their way into the zone. It looks as though they will have to come through the red zone to get into the zone. And with Team 6 not being close enough to the edge to gatekeep them, it looks as though Team number 7 will have an easy entrance. And now with the zone changing again, going to the centre of the map, we have now teams, the Zen team of Team 10, LC 21, Vape 2, Psy 14, BM number 6 and Union number 5. And not team number 4 will now have to make their way into zone to come into contact with the task force of Team 13, of Team 15, which is Vape, of Team 17, which is a Clot, Team 18, which is Dell, Team 9, which is Jetto and FM Richard, and Team number 3, the SIG team. And for now, as the teams start making their move, it has become very, very quiet. But with the more teams getting into the zone, I'm sure that something will kick off in just a moment's time. And that is where the blue zone really does come into play, by pushing the teams into the zone, pushing them into each other and encouraging them to start making shots, as we now see with the Icolot team getting a kill. So let's jump over straight away as Team 17 take on Team 14. And that is Sai Ares being knocked by Saviour there. And that is Ares taken down completely, with Chaos being taken down by Silent, Eason being taken down by Saviour. So the Icolot team at the moment have 8 kills for them. And TM Obito has just got a knock on the left-hand side. And Silent has just spotted Mary Jane trying to drive away in the blue Dacia. And TM Lynx takes down Hill Skeleton on the left-hand side. And that is another kill for the TM team. With the task force now coming into play, getting a knock on QL with a well-thrown grenade. So let's go straight over to Team 13 as we see Task White and Andrex coming up against the Dell team, and they are getting knock after knock after knock. And they are both taken down by Dell Yanzi there. And let's jump straight over now to Team 21 LC, as they are inside the red zone at the moment, trying to find the next enemies to take on. And LC have just jumped out and are now making their way on foot. They have the Union team to their right, with Jetto getting a knock on TM Lynx. So let's go straight over to Team 19, who have just found themselves on the edge of the zone, just on the inside, with Jetto just over towards 320. And Itachi is coming in to save Lynx and get the revive. And the zone changes in roughly 13 seconds, with Sig Fix 10 getting a knock on CGN Pablo there, with Del Yanzi getting not Cubista, with QL getting the finish. So here we see CGN Pablo just revived and is still being shot at by Teams 2 and Teams 3, and is now using a first aid kit to get some health back. And LC has managed to take down Union Spirit. And we have Skrillex getting a knock on Union there, with Vape Houdin getting a knock also. And Pablo has just taken shots at Denny, with shots being returned, and Pablo on around 15% of health. And Vape Denny has also managed to use a first aid kit, as CGN Pablo uses the same. And the next level has just taken down Quasimodo, with the play zone unfortunately taking down members of the Vape team, with Saviour just taking down Union Mercy on the left hand side, and Skrillex getting a grenade kill on Ducci there. And the play zone has just finished off the Vape team. So let's have a quick look, as we see a fair few teams at the moment right on the outside of the zone, on the boundary lines, as Skrillex gets a knock on LC Devil there. So a lot of these teams will have to push in, with Silent getting a knock also. With CGN and Sig being on the inside of the zone at the moment, it would be wise for them to try and gatekeep these other teams, especially being at the stage we're at, where the blue zone will do a lot of damage. If they can keep those teams on the outside as long as they possibly can, then the kills will come to them thick and fast, as they will only have to use a few bullets just to get those final last shots and take down those teams. And at the moment we are looking at CGN take on the SIG team over at 50/60 in the northeastern direction. And Not Immunity has just been taken down the left hand side, with CGN now taking shots at the Vape team of Team 2, who have just managed to come in by buggy. And are now going to try and rotate just over the ridge of this hill, out of the view of the CGN team, where we have Denny and Almagin trying to sneak in, being watched by Mighty Sky and Pablo now, with the Equalot team getting some more kills by taking out the Union team. And it looks as though the smokes are doing their job as Pablo is shooting on the left-hand side rather than straight ahead at 255. And Union Spirit manages to knock Skrillex, with Silent getting the final finish on the Union team on the left-hand side. And our Majin has just managed to take down CJ and Pablo, with Kenzai getting the squad wipe and Denny just managing to finish off Pablo before being killed themselves. And FM Richard has just taken down Not the Teresia. And we are now nearing the end of game one, but we still have 5 teams in play, 13 players. And Silent manages to take down CGN Kenzai as Mighty Sky now goes in for the revive. And that will then give Team 17, the Eclot team, a chance to come in. But unfortunately, they are being taken down by the zone at the moment. And unfortunately, Skrillex is then taken down by Mighty Sky. So as the Eclot team taken out, and we are now left with our top 3 for game 1. Team number 9, Team 7 and Team 19. And we're now seeing TM go up against CGN, with Kados taking down Mighty Sky and Kenzai knocked also. And Itachi gets the finish on Kenzai there. So it's now TM against CGN, and there it is, the end of game number 1. And the winner is the TM team with 9 kills. We have CGN in second with 9 also. We have Hugh, XGN, FN and Jetto in third with 7. We have Sig in fourth with 2. And we have the Eclot team in 5th with 15 kills. If you have enjoyed this stream, please follow the channel with new content added daily. We will be back in just a moment for game number 2. This is Vape Nation Scrims. I am Ab Summer and we will be right back.